1968 now, that's when the law was passed to provide sites. And there's just been nothing done in West Glamorgan here now. There's been no site made whatsoever. And every other part of the country's got sites provided for them. They're actually treating the travelling people in Wales, they're treating them just as vermin as far as I'm concerned.
The 1968 Act placed an obligation on us to provide encampments, and apart from the legal consequences of that, the fact remains that here we have a population which is not treated to the kind of facilities, if you like, which normal communities receive.
There's no refuse collections. There's no water facilities. No toilet facilities. The only electric facilities we have are generators.
The ground has no foundation or nothing in it. Everything just keeps sinking in it. It's hard with my family to live here. We've no facilities, nothing like that. We've had the council out so many times, they've been going to tell us they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Not to say they're going to move you, put you going here, put you going there. But still they keep threatening. Then it comes along about 7 or 8 years ago, they said they're going to make a site here. We've been waiting for a site ever since. We've had no site. It keeps coming down and promising they're going to build one next month, but they never build one. Now we've been living in false hopes all along. I'm not the only one, there's people at the bottom. There's people across here who've been years waiting here for a site. When they comes along, they builds up our hopes, they tells us they're going to give us something, and then all of a sudden they takes it away. They don't give us nothing.
There's just nowhere else to go, is there? You know what I mean? If you pull like at the side of the road, well, the police comes and shifts you on. You see? So there's no other place to go. And you'll settle down any place as long as you're getting left there. That whole road floods up. All around the trailers floods up. You're just walking out with a pair of shoes and you come back in, you're soaking wet. I got very bad pains in my legs over the heads with it. You know? And the little children's the worst. My grandchildren now. They can't get out to play or do anything in the winter time. They're just stuck in the trailer all the time. If they go outside, they get soaking.
Different we sound no blood.
Yeah. Don't be carrying. Don't be carrying because you
Yeah, look at yourself.
stand up.
You look good.
Did you get it, Teresa? Oh, together, girls!
But I will not, as any in love with Edmund, may I, live with Beryl James, may not be joined in matrimony to Robert Hackney Gilheaney.
Since it is your intention to enter this marriage, say your consent before God and His church. Robert Anthony Gilheaney, will you take Elizabeth Beryl James, here present, your lawful wife, according to the right of our Holy Mother Church?
I will.
Elizabeth Beryl James, will you take Robert Anthony Gilheaney, here present, for your lawful wife?
Excuse me. Can I kiss Frank?
The site's made there in Pembroke Dock. I was down there a few weeks ago there. My brother Robert got married, and the site is immaculate. They've been there 5 years now, and I guarantee if you go down there, You'll see how clean it is. That's all we're asking for, right? Is the right just to give us that chance to prove to the Gorge people, right, that we're not all dirty. They should have had sites here for West Glamorgan. As a matter of fact, my father had to take them to court over not having for sites, and he won his case in London. So they have to provide sites now. They're breaking the law. They can't move us. They can't. They'll give us this place here now until such time to provide the sites.
We haven't done the job because perhaps we've tried to be all things to all people. In other words, we have tried to accommodate the protesters. Belatedly, we have discovered that wherever we suggest there should be a gypsy encampment, we are going to encounter opposition. What I have felt in the past is that if we placed gypsy families amongst a hostile neighborhood, then of course the encampment would be discredited, and indeed we wouldn't succeed. There's been a great deal of hostility. I regret to say there's been a great deal of prejudice, and that has really accounted for the position we now find ourselves in.
Until 10 years ago, I saw very, very few gypsies. And now suddenly we've got an enormous encampment of them. Where have they come from?
I've been over here going on 20 years now, and I married a West girl. I've got 4 kids born in Swansea, in Marsden, 1 in Swansea, and 3 in Marsden. I've got 1 born in North Wales and 1 born in Scotland. And I married a West girl from Aberystwyth. My brother, Jimmy's married to a West girl. Patrick, he's married to a Scotch girl. My brother Robert, he's married to a Welsh girl. So, I mean, like, manner of speaking, like, when we talk about not being a native of this land, we must say we are, like, aren't we? I've got children, like, born here.
I was born here, born in Marsden. So I should think I have a right to live here, do you? There's a lot of people in Marsden, I should imagine, was come from England and places like that. Indians, such people as that. They got a right here, this is my area. I was born here, lived all my life here. So you should do something about it. Make a site or something about it. So we can send these kids to school.
I've been in different places, post offices, surgeries, greengrocers. They've been all near me, and I've smelled these people. I've had to go out.
Would you like to live on an industrial estate? Because that's basically what they're living in, with no sanitation. Now, it's not fair to them.
If you suggest to me that there is a danger to the health of the community, where you have families without refuse collecting, without the elementary amenities which communities enjoy, if you're suggesting that, I will readily agree with you. In fact, I have addressed public meetings, unfortunately, very hostile public meetings over the years, in which I've pointed out that this is something that they all have to recognize is a consequence of not having properly organized gypsy encampments.
I've been here 10 years now, and I get on great with the people here. And the reason why I really want to stay here is because I got a little boy buried in Morrissey. And I got a little girl, Violet, she's 6-year-old. And she's brittle boned. And she's in care, like. And I go to see her every week. And for the sake of Roseanne, my oldest little one, she's been badly burned, 38% of her body, like. And she's got her doctor's here. Come on, then. Turn your legs.
I want my kids to grow up in a place where they belong, really. I mean, we belong here. We certainly should not be forced on. Why should it be forced on? I mean, I will fight to the very last. Before anybody moves me, I will fight to the very last. If I've got to take the council to court, I'll take them to court. Because I will not be moved. My roots is here, so therefore I'm entitled to stay here. Sit up there. Let's take the chair, quick. Don't scratch, Rosie. Sit in, Rosie.
My oldest little one, she took nail varnish in the farm. And it came out on a tracksuit. And a tracksuit went up. Just like as if you put a gallon of petrol on it. Well, at the time, there was no water here or anything to put her out. And my oldest brother, Peter, he rolled her up in a carpet, because that's all we had, like. An old carpet outside that was laying on the ground. It was soaking wet. It was filthy. And due to the carpet, like, wrapping her up in the carpet, by the time they rushed to the Chepstow Hospital, she was really critical. And the dirt of the carpet got into the burns. And she only had 5 hours to live on a Sunday. She was given her last rites. She only had 5 hours to live.
Now, the one fire point is, it's right down at the very bottom of the road here, like you can probably see that yourself with it connected to Tapton. Well, that's no good to us, like, I mean, when this caravan went fire, like, not this one, the one that we were in then, when that went fire then, right, we had more or less had to run down the road then to try and get water, but that time it was too late then. I mean, it could have caused a lot of deaths. I mean, if the other caravans had to be closer to us, all the caravans could have went up.
I blame the council for that, over not having us water here. Fire points or something where you could run for water if a caravan does go. As you know, caravans goes up very quickly, like the ones in Britain Ferry, where them 3 kids got burned to death. There was no water there at the time.
Swansea Sun News at 10, Alison Smith. 3 young gypsy brothers died early today when fire engulfed their caravan home at Britain Ferry. David Merchant reports.
The brothers, aged between 13 months and 3 years, died despite efforts by their grandmother to save them. The 3 were asleep in their caravan on the illegal site at Britain Ferry when their home suddenly burst into flames.
I'm a freelance environmental health officer, and I was asked to get involved after the fire where 3 children died, to have a look at the conditions on the site, particularly the means for fighting fires and for raising alarm if there was a fire. And I was, well, there aren't any, basically. There is some supply of water, but very minimal, not enough. And access to the site's appalling. There's no proper arrangements for the vehicles to get on to fight the fires. And there's no other appliances for fighting fires at all on the site. Basically, there's no facilities you would expect to go with the site. Sanitation, water supplies, refuse disposal, anything. It does mean that if there was a chance of saving any of the children by limiting the fire itself, fighting the fire with a fire extinguisher or something like that, and somebody getting in there to save the children, yes. That chance was there, and because there was no appliances, that couldn't be taken.
The obligation for providing gypsy sites falls on the counties. And strangely enough, the servicing of those sites falls on the districts.
We are a district authority, we're a collection authority, and in normal circumstances we do collect household waste from house dwellers. The situation where there is a permanent caravan site, yes, we also collect from a permanent site. The very nature of the transitory nature of the site really makes it very difficult to really ascertain whether it is our responsibility or not.
Well, there aren't any facilities that you would require or should be required or should be provided on a site. That is absolutely disgusting. The site's been there a long time. Even if it's only a temporary site, there should be some of those facilities provided. They should have been provided not long after the site was being used. Certainly should be provided now.
all, as you can see, this is some of the conditions now that we're forced to live in. I mean, you've got like this rubbish here, floods, the rats. The council comes down here and the tips all this old stuff up here. And it's the travelling people then that gets the blame. But I mean, like when they come and tip this on your doorstep, and we gotta live here, you can imagine like what it's like.
And the rats, it's very, very bad down there. I mean, I looked out one night and there was dozens of them around the trailer.
It's bad. I nearly had a fright last night. Actually, I was going down there, walking over my friend's bed, and a rat, you know, a big rat, shot up in front of me and jumped right over my foot. Oh my god. Nearly had a heart attack. So I standing there for a minute, and there was another run. There's two of them running across the road. They must have been chasing after each other. Oh god, I nearly died. I'm gonna walk over there. Who's that with Tanya? So I was walking over there, and I seen one jumping like that there, so I was kept walking on, and one jumped underneath the board, and I stand on top of the board, and something was scraping underneath it. Oh, and nobody heard me. I screamed and screamed and screamed. I got a big stone, chucked on top of the board, and I ran away.
It's infested, to be honest with you, with rats, and mostly it's a hazard for the children and all sorts of things, you know. He tries to eat his way up through the caravan floors, and he can't kill many chickens here, like, and things like that, young chickens. We've had it. A lot of the dump is done with the residents and houses as well down here. And the council have been known to dump some stuff down here now and again. But most people that live in the conditions we have, we don't be the same as them, man. The council don't provide no sort of bins or anything for us, right?
There are no facilities, no services, and because of that, people have to manage it in a fashion that we don't. No access to water, or access to water is limited, no lavatories, and so that makes life, I'm sure, difficult. And despite that, the standards of hygiene and the care of their children is excellent.
Well, we try to keep them clean, like as clean as possible. You know what I mean? But when you're washing down a trailer with cold water, like I mean, say your hands is, you get this rheumatism, isn't it? Rheumatism you get in the hands. Painful afterwards, like. And it's very, very, very hard, like, to get things done. But we try to keep them as clean as possible. But if we had a clean place, like, we could keep everything nice. And ourselves nice. Because we just go like tramps when we're down there.
Because a lot of outsiders think you're dirty people, but that's not true, is it?
It's not true. Do you know that the gypsy people is maybe cleaner than what the gorges is? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that the gorges will do that we won't do. We will not wash our dishes or anything like that in places that they wash their face or clean their teeth or, you know what I mean? We won't do that. We keep a special dish for our dishes.
Yeah, well, we get our water like from a fire point, which is not healthy in the beginning anyway, because you have to boil the water, like even for drinking water, you have to boil the water, then leave the water go cold. The health inspector came down. He took a sample of the water from the tap, and he took another sample then from like Tron outside, like the Tron that carried the water in, and he said the water wasn't fit to be drunk. It wasn't fit for human consumption.
They are no better and no worse than anybody else. Some of the caravans are extremely clean, they're very well cared for, they're decorated, and they're obviously very well looked after, and the children likewise are very well looked after. I don't think they carry diseases any more than anybody else does.
tried several times myself to have the children put to the local schools, but no success there. And then I see my local doctor, Dr. Brennan. She's wrote several letters away for the health authority, the education authority, and through her we are having a bit of action now.
I wrote in June, and I wrote again in July, having had no reply to my first letter. I sent a copy of my first letter in with the second letter. I still had no reply. Then, about a month before the beginning of term, I phoned one member of the education department. Eventually, I was given the name of a school that these 6 children could attend. I was then directed to another member of the education department who gave me the name of a second school that the children should attend. These were given within 2 days of each other, so 2 members of the education department were stating that the children should attend different schools. I then learnt that a third option had been proposed, that they should attend a separate unit until they were brought up to standard, and that the education department would appoint some teachers to try and bring them up to standard, and then they would be sent to the normal junior schools for the area. This is taken from the 22nd of June, and it is now the 14th of October, and the children are still not in school.
Tanya, do you know what 2 and 2 is? Good girl. Can you be speaking up a bit? Oh, good girl. Jean, do you know what 5 and 5 is? Yeah. Alicia, will I try you with one more? Because you're very bad today. What's 2 and 2? No, not right. Alicia, I think we'll have to give you a bit extra more and we'll have to learn you more sums. That's very good for the day. Tanya?
14 years now that I've been down here now, right? My children has only had 6 months education in all of that time. My eldest now is 12 and a half. And I mean, in her time now, she's only had 6 months education. And the only way I could have done that was to take her to Wellspool, move to Wellspool to get her educated. Because the school that they were in here now was a very, very bad school. Did no proper facilities, no toilet facilities. The children wasn't allowed to integrate with the other children. It was very, very bad.
As if I goes away, say, for a couple of weeks, holiday, that, well, say now like Welshpool or that, they'll take them in straight away. They get a bit of education. If I go, say, up to Manchester for a couple of weeks, they'll take them into a school there, they'll educate them for a couple of weeks. Now when they're just starting to get to learn to read and write, or learning something, they come back here, and automatically it just stops.
And I went up to the first school on the road here, and I asked her to take the kids in. 3 was it? 3. 3 of them. And she said no, she didn't take any children from the organised. So she wouldn't accept them. So then I went up to the other school at Father Morris's, School Road. And I tried there, she refused me as well. For a minute she said she thought it was somebody out of the houses. So when she heard us from down here, she refused me.
Say if tomorrow morning I got a house in Morriston, right? And so I moved me and my family into it. Now automatically the school board would insist that my children go to school. So I get my children, I bring them down to this school here in Morriston here, and I put them into it. The teachers wouldn't reject. The pupils, probably the parents are not going to reject, because I'm living in a house, they'll be in school. I'm still the one family, I'm staying here, they won't get education here. So why is the difference if you're being in a house, they'll go to school, and they're being down here in the Malgate, they won't go to school?
Every education committee has got to educate travellers, and it actually specifies travellers, gypsies, whether they're there temporarily or permanently. See, the
law's crooked somewhere, isn't it?
The last Education Act was 1980, and that's when it said that every parent had got the choice of choosing the school they wanted their child to go to. And as far as I understand it, the idea is that you as a parent, you take your children to the school that you think is right for them, and you say, I want my child in. Now, if they say no, you can ask them why. They may or may not tell you. and they should then tell you where the education office is, and you then go up there.
And then they refuse you.
And you ask them for a letter saying why the school of your first choice wouldn't take your children. And that education office is supposed to direct you to the next nearest school. And if it's more than 2 miles away and your child is under 7, then you should get free transport.
Yeah.
If it's over 7, it's got to be 3 miles away. But if it's a dangerous walk, then you ought to be entitled to free transport anyhow.
We want to know, is it going to be different? Are our children going to be allowed to mix with the children up later, use their toilets, because we weren't even allowed to sit the main dining room with the kids. They weren't having meals, we had to pick the kids up 4 times a day. But now they've stated that they will give the children meals. But we want to know, is it going to be like before? Because if it is, we don't want that.
Did you ask them if it was going to be like it was before?
No,
Yes, I asked them, and they said it was going to be entirely different. There was one lady there, a very, very nice lady, and she said it was going to be entirely different. She was taking the whole thing in hand herself, and from what I could see of her, like, she seems to be genuine enough.
So will they be eating with all the other children or not?
No. They'll still be separated. You know what I
They'll
mean?
eat in that little room, their meals will be fed. They'll stop to that room, like, and they'll eat in that room.
It'll be something like South Africa, where they have the blacks and the whites separated, you know, and there's like this, well, this is supposed to be a free country, you know, opportunity, you know. And what they're going to do now, they're going to put the travellers on one end and the people of the town on another side.
And
What we really want is equal rights for our children, right? We don't want no more for our children, or no less than what a Gorgie wants for AIDS. That's all we want. Yes. If we had a proper site, I mean, like, they'd have to provide a proper school. I'd give them a chance where, like, when I was growing up, like, I used to only get maybe a day here, maybe a week there. I mean, like, as a matter of fact, things was better then. Because years ago, the health authority men would come along, the education men come along and make you go to school. But the people here at the present time, they've got no consideration for travelling children.
can't go up the road because people call you gypsies. They called you tinkers and all. And in our school, only some people used to do it. So hoping this next school we're going, nobody will do it. They want to be treated like a gypsy. You know, they want to be treated like any but a human.
You don't think we have any rights at all? You know, he tries to treat us lower than anything going in the world, I should imagine. We have a low class, a low race of people as they deserve. They don't want to know us. They want to know nothing about us, I think. They like us to banish off the face of the earth. Not much of a future for them, is it?
I don't accept that there have been no facilities. In Morriston, we laid on water. In Morriston, we were able to provide education, certainly of an elementary kind, for the children of the gypsy families. We have tried as best we can, albeit sometimes without the necessary authority, to make life a little easier for them.
We've been waiting now for 10 years to have this site passed. I mean, like, if anyone's patience is running out, like ours is running out, sometimes I feel like just taking the car then and parking right outside the Guildhall. That way maybe we might get a bit of notice taken to this. No, it's Kathleen and Jackie. Is she Violet?
There's me,
There's Jean at the back. There's Eileen.
That's Eugene.
Yeah. Of course. just tinkies and gypsies now. And tramps. Tell us to get away from the houses.
Peter Gilheaney is a gypsy, or perhaps a bloody tinker, depending upon their disposition. To his local council, he is an Irish itinerant. To the government, he is a person of nomadic habit. To his friends, he's a traveller.
Good morning, sir. I think I was scrapping 10 years ago now. You can see my children were only very, very small, right? I mean, I've got a girl now, 12 and a half. And, I mean, we're still waiting for the sites. After 10 years. I mean, is it going to be like this in another 10 years' time as well? Never think that was 10 years ago, Margaret, would you? I mean, look, when you really think about it.
You still haven't used lost any weight. Shut up.
Oh, never mind, surprise.
The gypsies have always had right on their side since 1968. And I feel sure that there was certainly a moral right on their side prior to that. But there's no question of their having established a right that didn't exist. It's existed since 1968. It's our inability to come to terms with the 1968 Act is the problem.
We were forced to live like this, and we don't want to live like this. I mean, living like this here is just, it's degrading us. And there's got to be something done about it pretty soon. It's not us that's leading the outlaw life. I mean, we're prepared to pay rates, whatever demand on paying whatever it is, right? It's the council and the education department who's the outlaws, not us.